Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another live stream of Farmers Baseball. Joining me tonight is Mr. Mike Anderson up here in the press box. We made a drive last night to Pittsburgh.
A long one.
Yeah, it was. We fought the rain. Pittsburgh, I got to give you a shout-out. You guys did a great job getting that field prepared after 4 inches of rain.
I thought it was great.
They did a great job.
The field was great.
I talked to one of the guys before the game. They had 4 inches of rain out there, got everything prepared. Farmers able to pull out the win. Sack fly, scored the winning run there in the 6th inning, and great pitching last night. We had to mix things up. But, so this is a 3-game series, best 2 out of 3 between the Pittsburgh visiting Pirates and your Farmers.
Yeah, Farmers definitely looking to close this one out. Game 3 goes to neutral field in Edgewood tomorrow.
Which we don't want to make a drive on
and we don't
Saturday.
want to make that drive back to East Texas again. So, hoping to pull one out right here.
Well, Mason Irwin's got the start tonight for the Farmers. I do have to apologize that my voice is a little hoarse. I had a nervous tick last night walking up and pacing in front of you and Tuck over there. But first
Good
pitch
start.
breaking, yeah,
Good
great
start.
job by Irwin. He came in and finished out the game last night after Graves got the start.
Yeah, he got the last 4 outs of the game last night. Did a good job in closing that one out. 4-3.
Yeah, and Mason Day came in and pitched a good couple innings, and then, like I said, Irwin came in and finished it out. Just, different speeds, different arm slots. Hard line drive hits back up to Jahir as he makes a sliding stop in left center field for a leadoff single there. That's going to be Hall, the catcher. Next up is the pitcher tonight.
Graham.
Yes, we saw last night. They've got some big, strong kids, and they can stick the ball pretty good.
They hit.
It's going to be a lot of defense need to be played tonight for sure.
Fastball just misses inside on the knees at Graham. 1 ball, no strikes with the leadoff runner on first. Conservative lead there by Hall. Graham fouls that one back in the ground. Evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. I do have to say that we took more people to Pittsburgh last night than they brought tonight.
We had a pretty good crowd, and they did too. It was they have a fun ballpark. It's an old ballpark, enclosed, and it's a lot of fun to go and watch a game out there. It's the first time I've been there.
First time I've been there.
We packed it on both sides, so it was a lot of fun.
We were talking to some of the locals there, and they said it used to be an old minor league that would pass through there and play sometimes, and you can tell because we played at Kilgore last year, and that's a cool stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So foul ball straight up over top of the bleachers is really, really loud because we've got that R panel 10 over the top. But big swing and a miss. Great job by Irwin. He throws that breaking pitch in there. Frustration from Graham, as you can tell. He had a couple errors last night at third base along with a couple strikeouts. So just frustration there. Next up, the third baseman, Lankford, for the Pirates.
Yeah, a little action with him last night. Had a little contact at the plate.
And you and I talked about that, being baseball guys.
Yeah.
In this scenario, you have to slide. That's to keep the safety for the little leaguers. There's not that, you have to slide, but he can initiate. It was more of a chest bump. They were both standing up. I think if he would have went through Carlo in that play, then there would be different scenario.
It'd be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that Carlo was out, on the left-hand side of the
sure.
batter's
He was
box,
10
way
feet.
up. He was way up the play,
Sure.
way up the line. So I think it was a good no call right there. I know a lot of the fans were not real happy with the fact that he didn't get chunked, but I think it was a good no call.
Well, it's a heated situation, big playoff game. We were wondering if we were going to make the playoffs. Bouncing back from what we had last year. But I'll piggyback on that play. Jahir Venegas, 2 lasers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Scoring runs saved by that throw from center field. He's going to put that down. That's going to be a foul ball in the box. I was wondering, Irwin didn't respond to the ball, but, he kind of pointed, and I didn't see it from our position. But that's going to bring the count 1-2 on Lankford. So, bunt situation. Well, speaking of bunt, I would say it's gone away, but Kate Ellis laid one down last night with 2 strikes and actually worked in our favor.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch on the way. Up and out, try to get him to chase. He's able to hold, evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pittsburgh has to get the win tonight to extend to Game 3. Your Farmers can skies that one to center field.
Zahir's got that one tracked down.
And there it is for out number 2 here in the top of the first. Brings up number 9, the cleanup, Johnson.
Center fielder number 9, Johnson.
We've got a slight breeze out here. There was nothing there last night in Pittsburgh. Obviously, we're sitting in that enclosed, semi-enclosed bleachers. Nice little breeze circulating around tonight. First pitch swing is going to sky that to Tuck in right field. He's camped underneath that, and that's going to be a quick out.
That'll be an easy one right there.
Yeah,
finish it off.
Great job by Irwin. Just a handful of pitches there. One stranded and one hit. So we'll be back here in just a moment for the bottom half of the third. Stay tuned. And we are back here in the bottom half of the third. Leading off for your Farmers is going to be the shortstop, senior Paxton Graves.
Yeah, good night. Threw 100 pitches on the mound. Good, strong start. Threw a lot of pitches, a lot more than he wanted to, I think, but came up with a big sacrifice fly to knock in that go-ahead run.
You know, we talked about that.
The game winner, yeah.
Ellis was on third there. You know, we contemplated who looks like the shade a little bit there. We've been having some trouble with that west sun and the left hill side of the fence. Fastball up and away there out of the zone for ball number 1. I was trying to get those walk-up songs to play, and it said I didn't have an internet connection, so we'll try it on the next one. Second pitch from Graham, low in the dirt. Graves quickly ahead 2-0. Graham set, 2-0 pitch on the way. Slow delivery from Graham. That was outside, but he's going to call it a strike. We talked about the vantage point sitting up here. I mean, that was well outside. But nonetheless, 2 balls, 1 strike on Graves. That ball low out of the zone. Graves with a hitter's count here. 3 balls, 1 strike. You'll probably hear some additional hooping and hollering tonight. We've got a playoff game being hosted right over here behind us at the softball field. Another opportunity being used from having the turf field. So 3-1 pitch from Graham. Right down the middle. Graves looking, brings the count full. Graham with that real slow windup.
He does it, you know.
It tends to throw the timing off sometimes as well. Here's a payoff pitch from Graham. Graves puts a charge into that to deep left center.
Left center, he's
going to be tracked
and tracked
at the
down.
wall. I needed that
right
to
at the
be
warning
about
track,
30 feet to the left, and that would have been a little different scenario, though. It's not doing it right. Not sure what's happened. We may not get walk-up sounds tonight, gentlemen.
No, they'll live.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
They're just worried about going up there and hitting. Takes ball one. You talked about
Graham
his slow delivery.
He didn't he threw his arms up just then. The umpire just, that one was low.
That one's down.
Yeah.
He's very slow and deliberate.
Little flare out to left field. It's going to be camped umpire for out number 2. So quick handful of pitches, 2 outs.
They're getting outs quick, but we saw a long game last night.
Yeah,
right?
we did.
We got so used to seeing those hour-and-a-half games. We saw that one game that played 10 innings in
we
under
got
2
spoiled.
hours. And, we got a little bit spoiled and went about 2.5 hours and 7 last night.
Not to mention the hour and 45-minute drive home.
Yeah, after driving there, it was a long one.
John here, Venegas in the box for the Farmers.
Take up.
Yeah, that breaking pitch stays up out of the zone for ball 1. Ja here, like I said, I'll say it again. 2 great throws last night to save 2 runs. I mean, you take those away.
That is going to be just foul. Yep, down the right field line.
Those 2 runs score, we lose 5-4.
Yep.
Matter of fact, we don't even get, that outcome. So, the old saying, defense wins ball games.
How proud was Mom and Daddy Venegas down there?
Oh, yeah, man. I went down there and congratulated him. I said, that's probably 2 of the best throws I've seen this year.
Yeah. Just on the outside part.
That one was close. Definitely closer than the one that was on Graves out there in the batter's box. But 1-2 on Venegas here in the bottom of the first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Little slow grounder right back to shortstop. Quick throw and out number 3. So after 1 complete, we are tied at 0. We'll be back here in just a moment. We're back here in the second. Number 2, excuse me.
Yeah, number 2, Styles.
Yeah, I had it marked wrong. Yep. Left fielder for the Pirates stepping in the box. First pitch fastball from Irwin. Outside, ball 1. Line drive, ground roll double. Just over the outstretched glove of McNeese. I'm going to say it could have been caught. I don't know if he just saw it off the bat wrong.
And To be honest, that ball was smoked.
It was a liner, yeah.
And that's a hard ball to read right there. I mean, I think we've got the sun issue out of the way. We got clouds over there, but that ball was smoked, and it was a hard one to get a read on. Just didn't get his best play on it, and ball gets past him and hops up over the wall for a ground rule double.
The DH Bullard. Break a pitch in there, beautiful for strike one as he jumps ahead quickly. 0-1. Irwin's done a great job this year getting that first pitch strike. All of our pitchers have done a good job doing that this year. Quick little throw back to Redwine at second. Keeping Styles honest after that laser ground rule double to left field. Irwin set. 0-1 pitch on his way. Just out of the bottom of the zone, evens the count. Bullard DHing for the right fielder Kirsch this evening. Inside fastball, well inside.
Good breaking ball.
Great pitch. You beat me to it. Just fell right out of the bottom of the zone. Evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bullard. That's almost impossible to hit.
I mean, he's effective because he's got decent velocity, but he throws from that left side, and he got good running movement on his fastball.
Different arm slot, you know.
And his breaking ball is pretty nasty to go with it, and you just can't tell which is coming.
No pitch there as the umpire called time right at the beginning of Irwin's windup. Here's a 2-2 pitch. He did get him.
They're going to make sure about it. I think he caught it clean anyway.
He did. You know, umpire never called that it was down. So strikeout there for Irwin. Going to bring up Newton, the first baseman for the Pirates. Hitting from the left side of the plate tonight. I think that's the only batter they have hitting from that side.
I believe so.
From what I remember. But I don't remember him batting last night.
I don't think they had any lefties that I can remember last night.
Great breaking pitch. You know, that one's going to start, speaking of lefties, that one's going to start on a lefty's hip, you know, or on the hands and just fall right in that last 8 to 10 feet. You know, you think you're going to get hit. Big swing and a miss at that outside fastball. Quickly had 0-2.
Yeah, Irwin would be a tough on a lefty batter just because his arm slot, and he throws it out there. He starts it
he starts it on the body. And that's why you see so many of his strikes get called on that outside corner because it starts in the box.
That he's bailing, and that ball was over the plate. It's just down.
You know, that spot with an 0-2 count, surprised he didn't chase that pitch. 1-2 on Newton, runner at second, 1 out here in the top of the second.
That was way out.
That one got away from Irwin there.
He didn't want to throw that one.
Brings a count.
2-2, it moves that runner over to third, and that's a big one.
Yeah, because a sac fly in this situation, which we've had a few fly balls already, has an opportunity to score. 2-2 with a quick look to third. Try to get him to chase on that pitch. Good, and get him. Brings the count full.
Well, he's let a couple of pretty good pitches go with 2 strikes on him.
Yeah, you know, after seeing him chase that.
That was going to come in.
Ooh.
He leaned in there a little bit.
I thought he did. I know it was probably still going to hit him, but he sure stuck that leg out there. A rare occurrence from Irwin as he hits a batter there. Runners on the corners for the Pirates. Going to bring up the shortstop, Johnson. Any double play opportunity here for the Farmers with that runner at first. Could possibly see a steal situation to take away that double play.
Oh, look at
Johnson's
going to bunt.
Boy, he shot that one right down third. It one hopped over the coach. So that first strike there by Irwin. You know, in that situation, Ellis needs to pay a little extra attention there and watch that and just break on that and make a good throw to Carlo at home to get that out. And he did a great job pushing that to the other side of the field. And he's going to be safe, and nobody's covering. So Pittsburgh draws first blood tonight as your Farmers drew first blood last night.
Yeah, just misplay right there. If you've got first baseman crashing, you've got to have second base coming over the top to cover that bag right there.
And I know, you know, with not defending a player, but, you know, a freshman being in that situation, just, you know, like I said, there's a lot of nerves in these games. Oh, yeah. You know, we weren't even sure if we were going to.
All of them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Pax was a ball of nerves last night. I talked to him after the game. Another bunt right down the third base line, foul. Just looking for an opportunity to squeeze those runners over to second and third. Again, they still have the sac fly situation here. Only one out with runners on first and second. This is number 10, the second baseman, Miller, for Pittsburgh.
Showing bunt again, going to take it. Good breaking ball hitting that outside corner.
Should see the bunt go away here with 0-2. Newton and Johnson on the bags. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Way to come back and get him there, Irwin. With the swing and strike three.
Brings back to the top.
Right to the top of the lineup with the catcher Hall.
Yeah, he jumped on.
Yeah.
Jumped on Irwin quick in that first inning, hitting a line shot out to left center for a single.
A little different scenario now with runners on. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Not a bad spot by Carlo there, squeezing that pitch. Must be just a little elevated because it was definitely on the edge of the plate for ball one. Close. Johnson's taking a sigh of relief over there, taking another breath at first base. Thanking the baseball gods that wasn't the third out of the inning with only 1 run damage. 1-0 pitch on the way. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes on Hall.
Just off his thigh.
I mean, it was.
He was
and he's close to. I mean, he's on the chalk.
Yeah, he's on it. He was staying in there trying to take it.
Breaking pitch got away from Irwin. Another rare occasion, 3-0.
Yeah, scenario Mason didn't want, or Coach Norden. A lot of pitches he's throwing this inning.
Yeah, I know he squeezed through that first inning with 14, and I know he's well over that here, as that's a 4-pitch walk by Irwin. Should see a courtesy runner here with 2 outs on the catcher.
Now batting pitcher number 8, Graham.
Graham back up to the plate for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It sounds weird to say.
Yeah, it does sound
weird. So they're the Pittsburgh Pirates, but they have the Pitt logo, the college football logo.
Yeah.
Bases loaded here, 2 outs. Graham with a strikeout his last time up this evening. Breaking pitch in there, strike 1.
Good start there by Irwin.
Great opportunity here for Irwin to leave a runner stranded. Carlos setting up outside, and that pitch misses just out of the top of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike for Graham. Flares that one to the right side. Should be.
I believe it's going to be out of the reach.
Out of the reach of Mason Day over there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Real humid and sticky tonight after all that rain.
We got a lot.
And we got more rain today. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Going to be a grounder to Ellis. Ellis should. Ooh, that's foul.
Call it foul.
He did. It would have been an easy third out. Yeah. Count remains 1-2.
Thought we had that one. You got the playoff scenario. We got all 4 umpires on the field, so you got eyeballs everywhere.
You would think you'd have no missed calls.
I think that was right.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I assume this is right. I couldn't tell from here, but yeah.
I mean, you have the umpire at home right on it, and he's right there on it. Skies that one straight up to the middle of the infield. Irwin couldn't see it there for a moment. A little scare as he backs into Mason Day, but nonetheless, just a little damage done as Pittsburgh draws first blood as they lead 1-0 here through 1.5. We'll be back here in just a moment. Stay tuned. And welcome back here to the bottom half of the second. If you're just tuning us, this is District 4A first round of the playoffs between your Farmers and the visiting Pittsburgh Pirates. Farmers traveled to Pittsburgh last night and were able to secure the win 4-3 to take a 1-0 lead. They traveled here this evening, if necessary. There will be a Game 3 deciding tomorrow in Edgewood. Sebastian Redwine hitting in the cleanup spot after a 3-up, 3-down bottom of the first for your Farmers. He's leading off here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, looking to get something going, get a base runner on.
2 quick balls. We talked about Graham, the pitcher for Pittsburgh. Didn't throw a lot of strikes, a different slow windup. I think it throws our guys off a little bit. Oh, gosh.
Called that down.
I mean, he picked it up off the turf. You can see,
Hadn't
2 balls.
Hadn't seen a lot of those called tonight. He's been leaving that one down there. But
well, you could see where he picked it up off the turf.
Yeah.
2-1 pitch on the way from Graham.
Ooh.
Just a little outside, but umpire calls it strike 2, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Redwine.
Yeah, Graham's doing a good job of hitting the outside edges of that
Sure.
zone.
I mean, as batters, you got to adjust to that. Pokes it to the right side. Little flip to Graham for out number 1. It's going to bring up number 13, Carlo Venegas.
the Farmers, catcher, number 13, Harlow Venegas.
Yep, we've seen this a couple of times in district, especially late district, where Farmers just struggle to get guys on base early in the game, and then and we're able to pull out some of those in some tight games. But man, you don't want to fall behind right here in a potential closeout game. You want to get some guys on base and go score. That's another one down.
Yeah, that one was better than the other one. At least it didn't hit the turf.
Yeah.
First pitch looking in there to Venegas for strike one. One out with Jace Fagans on deck, the DH tonight.
Well, I'll say it again. He may be getting some calls that are edgy, but he's hitting those spots, and he's staying out of the middle of the zone.
He's definitely staying out of the middle.
He's doing a great job. He's getting the calls, and he's staying there.
You don't see a lot. It's two different pitchers. Obviously arm sides, but Graham doesn't have a lot of movement, on his pitches. He's literally working right there on the edges. I'm not really seeing it. But you look at Mason Irwin's pitch, he's got 15 inches of break on his pitches.
Yes, right.
So, his is all about timing and where it breaks through that zone. 0-2 pitch to Carlo is down and out. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. So just 2 different pitching styles. He is pitching from the first base side of the rubber. Bounces that one right over the catcher's glove, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You hear the fans out there, hey, we just need base runners. They're exactly right. At
this
point, you need to
You saw that last night.
Find some guys, get on base, and do what you can do to move them around.
2-2 pitch on the way from Graham.
Be down and out.
I almost wish these catchers weren't. That's not the way to do it, is to grab low. You want to put your glove almost on the ground and then come up and catch it in one motion instead of catching and doing that movement.
It's hard to do.
I'm not giving you that call. Payoff pitch on the way from Graham. Just behind on the pitch, pokes it over to the first baseman. Uncontested, 4 out, number 2. Going to bring up the DH for the Farmers, Jace Fagans. He is DHing for the third baseman, Cade Ellis.
Number 6, Jace Fagans.
Well outside in the batter's box for ball number 1.
Yep.
A little bit of a grunt from the Pittsburgh fans over here, but if you're sitting right in front of us, you saw that was well outside as well. Line shot right back up the middle. There's our first base runner of the evening for the Farmers. And that's all you need. You string a few of those together, and we'll put some runs on the board. Next up for the Farmers, left fielder number 22, Garrett McNeese.
Left fielder number 22, Garrett McNeese.
Garrett McNeese with a nice little line drive to left field last night there at Pittsburgh.
He put the bat on the ball hard multiple times last night.
He skies that one down. He's going to go out of play, out of the stadium. Over on the first base side, splashes in the parking lot for strike 1.
Certainly say that. If Jace makes contact, it's going to be hit hard.
Oh, yeah.
He swings. Good eye right there, misses up and out. Count even at 1-1 right here for McNeese.
Fagan with a conservative lead at first. Quick check by Graham. Ball in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Quick timeout by Hall to go out and chit-chat with Graham real quick.
Been seeing a little bit of the evolution of Garrett McNeese over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pitches like that he'd be taking big hacks at.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been a little bit more conservative
yeah.
on his
more
cuts.
Selective.
And really putting the bat on the ball well.
You know, and ever since he had that walk-off there against Sunnyvale here at home a few weeks ago, you know, he's stringing together a couple singles and a couple doubles. 2-1 pitch from Graham. Just barely misses the bat as he fouls that one to the right side backstop. Brings a count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mason Day due up next for the Farmers. I'd like to see him get a hold to one right here. Oh, that pitch was in the dirt. I'm not sure where he's going. That's usually not a good sign to the umpire if you're walking almost to the first base line. I mean, your catcher picked it up.
There's a little bit of you got to be smart right there as a pitcher.
Yeah.
You got to play the game.
Payoff pitch on the way. McNeese stays alive as he fouls that outside fastball straight back to the backstop. Fagan's moving on the pitch, being full count with 2 outs. You'll see the same thing on this next pitch.
Good time for a ball in the gap right here for McNeese.
Absolutely. That way you have an opportunity to put runners on the corners. Graham slips a little bit there at first, off the mound as he picks off, and he's walking a little tenderly on that foot now.
Yeah, coach going to come check him out a little bit.
Yeah, when he put that plant foot down, you know, even I'm big on even molds, and a lot of guys wear turf shoes. Nuh-uh. If there's any type of humidity, any type of dew, leftover rain on top of this synthetic turf, man, I mean, you're almost setting yourself up for disaster with turf shoes.
Yep.
It's like trying to, it's slipping on wet carpet.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened there on that plant foot. He came and kind of spun off there, landing, bigger-bodied pitcher. You'll probably see him get a few courtesy pitches there after this timeout is resumed.
Yeah, field's in great shape. Drains well.
Oh yeah,
everything's great.
But
you get rain all morning. I mean, we got a pretty heavy rain.
From 3:30.
Yeah, it's still going to be a little bit wet, right? There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Get a couple of pitches right here.
Yeah, a couple courtesy pitches here. Graham just needed one just to kind of feel his planting.
Yep, looks like he's ready to go. Big pitch right here.
Full count. Fagan's with the lead on first.
He'll be going.
Ooh, that was almost a balk there with that shoulder move.
It's going to be a ball. Oh, my goodness gracious. I think Garrett was certain that was ball 4.
It was ball 4.
I was certain it was ball 4, too, but that caught, man, oh. That's a tough one to take. Seeing it from up here, we don't see elevation quite as well as you can from field level, but we can certainly see the ball over the plate. And
I've got to say to McNeese, he held his composure.
Yeah.
Like a
he always does.
Yes, he does.
He's stoic, man. He's all business.
I mean, God, that was almost on the kneecaps on the inside, but we appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. Big shout out to Mr. G and Mr. B and his crew and Farmersville ISD for providing the streaming efforts here. It's a great class offered by Farmersville ISD, as a lot of things are moving that way in the digital field. So we're going to remain on the air with you guys. So after 2 complete here in the top of the 3rd, your Farmers trail 1-0 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. But I do have to say that Irwin got out of that big jam back there in the in the top of the 2nd when they did score their run.
Yep. Pittsburgh's credit, they were only able to get 1 run, and they left 3 runners stranded.
Yeah.
But they made him throw a lot of pitches.
They did make him throw a lot of pitches.
Pitch count is going to make a difference tonight with him being somewhat living it after closing out the last inning in the 3rd last night.
Yeah. Third baseman Langford, he flew out to center field his first time up this evening. He's leading off here in the top of the third for the Parts. Hard line shot back over to the Farmer dugout, just past it. Evens count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hard line shot to McNeese in left field. He tracks that one just in front of the warning track for out number 1. Great job by McNeese to come back and get that after he was called out looking on a questionable pitch there for the third out in the bottom of the second. It's going to bring up number 9, center fielder Johnson. He also flew out his first time up this evening. Hard line drive out to McNeese. Should throw that in for a single, no problem. As their first pitch swinging tonight, like I said, you said it earlier, and I'll piggyback on it again. They're not afraid to swing the bat. No. You know, they come in here with a different mindset. They've got to play catch up +1.
Yep.
They're definitely putting the ball in play better than our Farmers this evening. But that's why we play 7 innings.
Yep. Yeah, they're definitely looking to take it back out to East Texas tomorrow.
Yeah. Styles here showing bunt. Same scenario that we had last inning when they tried to score that run, or they did score their run, excuse me. Playing that small ball, moving runners into scoring position. Great pitch in there. Falls behind quickly. 0-1. He grounded. He had the ground roll double.
Yeah, that was the shot to left field that got by McNeese and
just a
bounced
laser.
Over the wall. Yeah, hard shot. Irwin's going to keep him honest over there on first base.
Yeah, I hadn't seen his speed yet. He flew out his first time up this evening, so.
At center field, I suspect he's got some.
Yeah. I don't think they put King Griffey at center field because he was slow.
No.
I wish he hadn't gotten hurt. You know, so many. But it's the same thing like Mike Trout and same thing with Josh Hamilton. They play so all out every pitch, every play. That
it's not that. It's the work they do leading up.
Man.
It's the all out all day. Ground ball to third.
Going to go down as an error there on Cade Ellis. Double play opportunity to get us out of the inning there and just booted. You know, you don't really see that a lot on the turf because it's about as pure as you can get, you know, in the baseball field. You know, there's no lip, there's no dirt, there's no rocks, there's no dips. Nonetheless, it's going to bring up Bullard. He struck out his last time up. Runners on first and second. First pitch in
right
there. You know, that's been a thorn in our side all season is errors and lack of hitting. So, you know, we're getting down to the wire. You're running out of opportunities. You know, this isn't, hey, we can come back and get them next week. Showing bunt, and he did.
He's going to miss the bunt, but it's going to distract Carlo enough. Ball's going to get away from him just a bit and move those runners over anyway. So that's your perfect sack bunt scenario.
Yeah,
he got the same result, and he gets to
he still gets to see another pitch. So
yeah.
Runners on second and third for the Pirates.
Timeout by coach. Wants to talk to his batter a little bit right here.
One out with an 0-2 count on Bullard. After the quick coach meeting there, Bullard steps back in the box as he falls behind quickly 0-2.
If I'm his coach, I just told him, look for that stuff on the outside and hit it the other way. And that was it. Obviously didn't chase that. He did a good job. I was a little bit too far outside, but that's what his job is right now is just put the ball on the ground on the other side, and he scores a run.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Bullard as Irwin comes set. Carlos sitting out just outside. Maybe Bullard thought that was strike 3 as well because he had already stepped across the plate.
He was a little bit out.
Little out, yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And he's going to check him. It will be strike 3 for the second out of the inning. That's the second strikeout on Bullard this evening. It's going to bring up Newton, who was hit by a pitch on the left side of the plate tonight.
Irwin's going to have to work out of a jam right here again.
Yeah, he had a bases loaded scenario last inning and was able to get out of that first pitch fastball up out of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs. Runners remain at second and third. Outside pitch there, fastball. Looking for strike 1. Evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sir Newton. After seeing that pitch right there before, man, he chased that one well outside the zone. It's almost like that breaking pitch started middle and worked completely.
Way off the plate.
Way off the plate. But, hey, nonetheless, that worked in our favor as we're sitting 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch.
It comes back, works the inside part, but down just a little bit on the breaking ball right there.
Irwin gets a sign. Carlos set. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Irwin. As he shoots it over to shortstop.
Backhand, good throw.
Great job by Graves as he gets the 3rd out of the inning. So 2 more stranded for the Pirates. We'll be back here in just a moment and see if the Farmers can get the bats rolling. Stay tuned. We're back. Mr. Anderson and I had to take a quick potty break. Mr. Tuck wouldn't jump on the live stream, so.
Come on, Tuck. You did last time.
Mason Day's got a 2-1 count. He's leading off here in the bottom half of the 3rd for your Farmers. His first time up tonight. Kind of been a slow batting evening as he skies that one over to the first base, past the first base dugout, excuse me. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Farmers haven't made it through the lineup just yet with Reese Tuck in the on-deck circle. 2-2 pitch in the dirt, bounces off the chest of Hall, brings the count full. I hadn't ran upstairs in a long time trying to catch my breath.
I can hear you breathing.
Yeah, I'm trying to walk, not run.
You're a young guy.
Yeah, okay, Mike.
Younger than me by a pretty good stretch.
Well, that's true, yeah. Graham set. Here's that slow delivery. Payoff pitch on the way. Hit right back over the pitcher's mound. Johnson bobbles it there at shortstop.
Hey, we get to take advantage of 1-2 right here.
Hey. Next up, number 2, Mr. Reese Tuck. Smallest guy on the team, has the biggest weight bench. Largest bench.
I don't know that I would go that far, but I will say there is no one on the team
who's quieter,
who's willing to take a pitch than that dude right there.
So his dad's filming, so I can say this. We were sitting there last night, and we had mentioned, you know what, it's been a minute since he's been hit by a pitch.
Yeah, it's been at least a game.
I think you said it, and then Tuck was like, let's go HBP. And sure enough, the next pitch, he catches it in the back of that front leg and gets down to first.
I've seen it 3 times in a game.
Oh, yeah. No, he's safe.
Hey, if that throws online,
if that throws
he's got him right there. That's a good try by the catcher right there. He did a pretty good job last night. He's got a cannon.
He's pretty. Yeah, I think he came in and pitched some.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. He was there.
Boy, and he just looked gassed last night. It was humid. I mean, you could tell he was just. Man, that's so close to a balk there.
You're gonna get him that time. Ooh.
I'm on the air, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, you can.
But I mean, if Norton doesn't get off in that ear right there, we cannot have those types of mistakes in this game, in this scenario. You can't. I mean, you had a good at bat. You took the walk. Take it.
You got the air.
If he's not going to, you're not going until he bunts the ball anyway, so don't get 15 feet off the bag. You've seen the guy's got an arm. He's going to back pick you with the opportunity.
You know, they're taught. He knows he's got to get a secondary right there and be ready to go on the bunt, right, to take away that play at second, right, and get the sacrifice. But you got to be careful. You got to have the ability to get back, knowing you've got to.
Well, and you can take a secondary and watch where the pitch is, you know, in regards to if he's bunting. But that back-to-back balls there, 3 balls, 1 strike on Tuck. I mean, it just – he's still showing bunt here.
He's going to lay down a good one. That's doing a job right there.
That's exactly what he did. Great job by Reese Tuck there, as that was a perfect sacrifice bunt.
Back to the top of the lineup. Now batting, shortstop, number 7.
We are back here to the top of the lineup. It's going to bring up Paxton Graves. Runner at second. Opportunity here for the Farmers.
Fly out to center his first time up.
Deep fly out, yeah. I wish that ball was
it was
kind of in line with the best donuts.
Warning track right about the extent of that tall wall in center field.
I mean, so
if he goes best donuts, I think he's bouncing to 78 out there.
Yeah. Day with a decent lead at second. Graham quite a few looks.
Oh, we got to.
And he did commit on that. Strike 1.
That's a late square. He's looking to possibly move the runner, but also he's trying to get an opportunity to get a bunt single.
Kind of catch them on their heels there, you know.
That's not your traditional sack bunt. That's more of a bunt for base hit. But
he's trying to bunt it to get it past that mound.
Yep.
See what he does here with the 0-1 count.
Graham's going to hit the outside corner right there for strike 2.
I'm going to say fastball, but it's not very fast. And I think, you know, that slow windup, I mean, all of that plays into, you know, when you're used to seeing 80-plus. Graves behind quickly 0-2.
That was in. Crowd doesn't like it.
Yeah.
They don't have this viewpoint. They don't like it, and I probably wouldn't either if I was sitting over there.
Sure, but it's also, it's not where he catches it. It's where it crosses the batter when it crosses the plate. So there's that area that you've got to take into account. But we've seen him get the pitches up here. So 1-2 pitch from Graham on the way. Graves fights that fastball off.
May find a car out there.
Yeah, maybe one of those Pittsburgh cars.
I don't park over there.
I'm parked over in front of the Pittsburgh bus there on the
I'm parked back by the
north end.
The batting cages on the other side of the junior high.
Count remains 1-2 after the foul ball. Mason Day at second base after the sac bunt by Tuck. Here's a 1-2 pitch from Graham. Graves going to sky that to deep left field.
It's going to go foul and get off.
Just missed it.
He had an opportunity over there at the wall. That's probably about 20-foot foul.
And it deep. Landed right on the gates. And I think with the fence, he barely missed it.
Yep. New life.
Another foul ball remains. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Graves. One out, runner on second for the Farmers.
Oh, just missed.
Big swing and a miss by Graves. He just foul tips that right into the glove for strike 3.
Yep, up in the zone. He saw it, wanted to go get it.
Mason flew out to left his first time up this evening.
Down to 2 outs here, but you got a runner in scoring position.
Orem with the good bat on the left side of the plate.
A lot of contact from Irwin.
Yeah, last week against at home on senior night, he had a triple and then an in-the-park homer.
Yes.
Pokes through the left side as Day's going to be held up at third. But a great job by Irwin as he pokes it through. He's going to bring up the big bat of Jahir Venegas.
Yeah, it looked like he held up a little bit after that secondary. With 2 outs, you got to be moving.
And then he slipped.
Yeah, or maybe he just slipped. I don't want to put that on him. Something held him up right there with that line drive going that way. Not able to get there. But either way, even had he got a good break, I think that ball gets in so quick. It's not a chance. Not a chance to send him anyway. Good base hit by Irwin right there.
2 outs, runners on the corners for the Farmers. Venegas, another one of those batters for the Farmers that has good power. Fastball up and away from Graham. Fastball gets away from Graham there. Drifts over into the left-handed batter's box. 2 balls, no strikes. Graham looking in to get his sign from Hall. He's set. Here's a pitch. Umpire wanted to call it, but he knew that ball was high.
Yeah, he pulled his hand.
I always like the 1,001 count, kind of assess where that pitch is. But nonetheless, Venegas with a 3-0 count and a good opportunity here. Red wine on deck for the Farmers. Red light there probably from Norden. Not many in the lineup are going to get the green light on a 3-0 count.
Not in this situation.
No. I'm going to make you throw me a strike, and then you still have to come back to throw me 2 more. 3-1 count.
Now he's sitting on his pitch. He's going to miss up and in.
Yep.
It's going to be ball 4 and loading the bases for the Farmers. For Red Wine coming up here in a big spot. Freshman to make a splash right here in this second game of the first round of the playoffs.
We're going to have a
timeout.
Little coaches meeting real quick. Redwine's been one of those little batters that can just two-hop it to the wall, or he can poke that ball right over second base and take that outside pitch.
Yeah, he can work the right side pretty good.
I just don't like that call. When you pick the ball up and you have to move your glove that much to get it into the zone starts about 12 inches off the ground. Hall setting up in the same spot there at the catcher's spot. It's no different if you brought that pitch back down.
Right.
Fastball up and away, evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike on Redwine. 2 outs, bases loaded here in the bottom of the third. Great opportunity for the Farmers. Just a little poke out there. Irwin with good speed at second.
Going to go right side. There's a chance. It looks like it's going to go foul and land uncatchable.
Lives to find another day. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, like you said, you get a poke like that out into right field
all day long.
Irwin's on the move, and you probably score 2.
Yeah, they're going on the hit with 2 outs here. Catcher setting up middle. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
No.
Absolutely not, Blue.
That's another one. When he's got to go down that far to catch it on the turf and bring it up, that's tough. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We can't see elevation, but we can see the catcher's mitt. And
you're going to see Norden come up here and chit-chat with him. I mean, that's absolutely horrible in that scenario. First pitch, okay, you gave it to him a while ago, but on that, I mean, he's picking up strike 3 off the ground. It'd be different, if we chase that, but it's almost like you're telling our boys, hey, you have to swing at that because I'm going to call it. And then you never, from Little League all the way up to now, you never teach.
You can't hit off the shoelaces.
No. We're going to remain here on the air with you guys.
Yep, Norden said his piece. Not anything you can do to change the call.
And a lot of times,
making sure he's aware.
Make him aware of it and maybe make the umpire here this next, go around. Hey, pay a little more attention to those pitches that are low. I can get it if it's right across the belt.
Yeah.
And you can punch him out all day long, but don't look for a punch out just because the ball's across the plate. It's got to be in the strike zone. But after 3 complete, your Farmers still trail 1-0. Just a missed opportunity there with 3 left on base. Great little throw there by Venegas.
Yeah,
that ball just tailed right in there to Redwine's glove on the throw down to second.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the next couple of years Carlo gets a little more meat on his bones.
Oh, sure.
He's going to be he's already a good player. I think he's going to be a great one.
Number 1, shortstop Johnson. He actually had the single RBI. Oh, we've got rain moving in big time. I was wondering why everybody was scattering and jumping up. But
yeah, it's coming down pretty good.
I thought we were in the clear for the rest of the day. Johnson flares that one over to the bullpen area on the first base side.
It's springtime in Texas. There's no such thing as clear.
I've always said we ought to switch the football and baseball season.
Yes.
We're just going to stay up here and keep commentating for you guys.
I'm dry.
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what the big deal is. Swing and a miss there by Johnson. He falls behind quickly, 0-2.
There he goes. Strike 3 right there by Irwin.
Should be number 10, Miller.
Number 10, second baseman, Miller.
Miller struck out his first time this evening as he swings at strike 1 and misses there. Another swing and a miss there by Miller for strike 2. I see lawn chairs flipped up as umbrellas.
A lot of people gathering under
a lot of improvised
the trees. And
yeah, there's not. You couldn't squeeze another person underneath that lace bark elm there. Swing and a miss for strikeout again on Miller. Back to the top of the lineup. Two quick outs.
I think Mason is doing just fine in his light rain. I think he likes it.
Yeah. Hey, anywhere that there's water involved, lake, creek, river.
It's going to be Mason territory right
Mason's there.
Yeah.
And he'll have shorts on and hey dudes. Two quick outs there by Irwin, back-to-back. Ooh, that's going to be hit by a pitch.
It's his second hit batter tonight.
Yeah,
which is unusual.
And, you know, Hall hasn't really got to – he had that leadoff single to left center. Then he was at walk, and then he got hit by a pitch. And, you know, as a leadoff, you're like, man, I'm here to hit, and I can't get an opportunity to do so. But nonetheless, 2 outs is going to bring up the pitcher, Graham. He popped up to the pitcher to end that second inning.
Yeah, that was a scary one.
Yeah,
that
could have been dropped.
Him and Mason Day.
Great block there by Venegas as that breaking pitch falls into the turf. Hard line drive down the left side out of the outreach glove of Ellis. They're going to send him to third. We're going to have a play.
Aggressive base earning right there. Gets their runners over to second and third.
Yeah, line shot there by Graham just over the outstretched glove of Ellis. Going to bring up the third baseman, Langford. He lined out to left field.
Yeah, two pretty hard shots to the left side tonight for Langford.
Now batting third baseman, number 6, Langford.
Got a courtesy runner in for Hall. Number 12 is what I have. Don't have a name on him on the Pittsburgh side. Two outs, first pitch swinging by Langford for strike 1. Great outside breaking pitch there as Langford fouls that one to the net. Falls behind quickly 0-2. Irwin set. Venegas setting up outside. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be a foul tip right over the top of Venegas' glove. Count will remain 2 strikes.
Foul ball.
O2 pitch on the way. One hopper to Graves. Across the diamond.
Great play deep in the hole right there.
I thought it was through, honestly.
Get out of another jam.
I really thought it was.
He was in a good position, slightly up the middle and deep. And that one hopper out there gave him enough time to get across and a good throw across the diamond to get that out. So it's out of another jam, but Mason
left 2 stranded.
Up to 73 pitches now. We talked about on a somewhat limited pitch count just because of the close he had last night.
Yeah, so I think he pitched 34 last night. So I think what they said is he can pitch 83.
20, yeah, 80, I don't know what it is.
Whatever the math is, but he's only got a handful of pitches left. So
about 10.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a moment for the bottom half of the fourth. Stay tuned. We're back here in the bottom half of the fourth. Leading off for your Farmers is Carlo Venegas. First pitch swing in there, chops it foul down the third base line. Oh, 1 to Venegas. Here's a pitch from Graham. Hit sharply over to the second baseman. Should be an easy play. Ooh, in the turf there.
Made a little harder than it should have been. Hopped it over there to first base, but he's able to dig it out.
Now batting DH, number 6, Jace Fagan.
Jace Fagan in the box for the Farmers. DH tonight for the third baseman, Kate Ellis.
Singled his first time up. Pretty good hard shot up the middle.
Yeah, right. I mean, right over the pitcher's mound, rolled out to center field. I still can't get over.
I think that's that may be a better pitch than the one he called on Sebastian.
If you guys aren't streaming in, or if you are, that the catcher's catching him on the turf and bringing him back up in the zone, and a good umpire has got to see that, and he needs to relay that to catcher. Catch, I'm not going to give you that pitch. You know, you can't catch it on the ground. Your glove scuffs the ground and you bring it up 10 inches. I can't give you that pitch. 2 balls, no strikes to Fagan. 3 balls, no strikes to Fagan. Red light there. Fastball brings the count 3 balls, 1 strike. I'm assuming it'd be a pinch runner. For Jace Fagan.
Yep.
Big swing and a miss there by McNeese. You know, we've said it all year. The dude does not go down looking. If it is, I mean, like that one he looked at last time, that ball was well inside. Spikes that one into the dirt for ball 1, evens the count. I'm going to say fastball. Slow fastball catches the inside corner. McNeese falls behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch on the way. McNeese lives to fight another day. Count remains 1-2. Hornbuckle with a decent lead at first. Quick look from Graham. 1-2 pitch.
Big swing by McNeese. Pitch down.
Back-to-back strikeouts on McNeese.
We're going to get a pinch hitter for Mason Day right here. Looks like Maccabee.
Number 5, Mr. Levi Maccabee is going to come in.
Now pitch hitting, number 5, Levi Maccabee.
If you guys happen to hear that in the press box, we've had every which way but correct when these opposing teams announce some of our players, and they were just talking about, we've got Levi's dad, actually, Adam, up here help us out tonight in the press box doing the PA announcing, and we've heard Maccabee, and he was mentioning he should have messed up his own name, but we've got to keep it funny up here, ladies and gentlemen.
I would have got a chuckle out of that.
Yeah. He probably would have got a few texts like, any reason why? First pitch there to Maccabee in the dirt.
Or those not knowing that it's him yelling from the stands, It's Maccabee.
I can hear it. We've got all of our windows open so we can, we'll even pick it up on the mic. We've got the window mic out tonight, the crowd mic. Hard line drive to the left side by Maccabee. Great job, young man, to come in and do a pinch job right there. Going to bring up Mr. Reese Tuck with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Only the second hit tonight for the Farmers. Done off the efforts of the pinch hitter, Levi Maccabee. Ground ball, that grounder through the left side has moved Hornbuckle up to second. First pitch to Tuck is in the dirt for ball 1.
Ball 2. Top of the order coming up after Tuck right here. Looking to do his job and get on base, move some runners right here with 2 outs. Takes inside.
Inside pitch there. You know, they did this last night. I just happened to see, on that pitch, the head coach for Pittsburgh, I mean, they're right there on a batter circle. They've got their whole coaching staff lining that wall. I mean, they're out. Ooh.
It picked a second, nearly went to center field.
Good snag there by second baseman, as that was definitely going to at least scoot up Hornbuckle, I would think, because center fielder was kind of camped on the heels. 3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4 is going to move the runners anyways on the pass ball. Back to the top of the order for the Farmers. Number 7, Paxton Graves, bases loaded opportunity here.
Paxton Graves.
Timeout for a coach's visit to the mound.
It looks like it's going to be. Yep. They're going to go. There you go.
Not sure what they're doing. We get a pitch count on him? Sitting about 77 pitches right now.
Doing a lot of talking. It looks like he's going to stay in the game. He's
Yeah.
just doing some communicating there. He hasn't made a move. Umpire's going out to kind of shut down the block party out there. Stay where they're at. Pack struck out last time, but he put a charge in one in his first at bat out to deep left center. Looking to do something, do some damage right here with 2 outs.
Base loaded opportunity here for the Farmers. He's all over that first pitch swinging. It's going to be foul past the.
Yeah, that was deep. He just early got around on that one.
Well, I'm gonna be a little dad partial here for a minute. You know, senior, we had senior night last Friday. If anybody deserves one right now, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring and say this guy does. So, pitch in the dirt there, evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on Graves. He's worked through a lot this year, on the field, off the field, senior year. Like to put something good in here for his teammates right here with a scoring opportunity with bases loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch on the way.
Yeah, he got under that one.
Sky that one to left center.
Communication between the two.
Oh, that ball's down. Hey, we'll take it any way we can, gentlemen.
Yep. That was a tough play. That was right there. High ball right there to left center field. Center fielder, left fielder coming together. Don't know what the communication was like out there. Couldn't tell who was going to go take the ball. Well, they came together they converged right as the ball got there and not able to make the play.
You saw the center fielder kind of like, he was on the back of his heels, like I said a while ago, and got a late jump. I saw him hauling in to get it. I knew the ball was going to be kind of shallow, and they actually collided out there. Not sure if they're going to have a injury timeout. Looks like left fielder's trying to.
The umpire checked it out, but they're going to be okay.
And normally on that, you're only going to move 1 base, but on the contact, you're going with 2 outs.
With 2 outs, they're moving. So and you clear the bases on a play like that.
With the collision there, I know it goes down as an error, but nonetheless, you're going to get credited with 3 RBIs as Farmers take the lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. So after a little bit of excitement there, I was ready to write down a pop-up to left center, but it's going to go down as probably an E. Paxton's going to screw it up to second on that ball in the dirt. Graham a little frustrated as Hall's trying to calm him down, and he just asked for the ball back. Irwin with another good opportunity as that ball skates back. Graves at second here with 2 outs. 2 balls, no strikes. If he pokes this into the outfield.
Yes, his pitching day is coming close to an end.
Sure.
At his pitch count, but he'd love to help the team out with a little RBI single right here. And that's going to go to the fence.
And that's going to be an easy scoot up there for Graves as that ball hit the net on the fly.
I think their coaches are looking at each other over there. I think they're getting concerned about their pitcher there. He's going to go, and this is going to be the end of his night.
So we're going to get time granted by the umpire.
So we'll see what they go with here.
I've always liked this song in the Rangers game.
Yeah.
Little Ring of Fire. Everybody likes Johnny Cash. He's like the godfather of all genres of music. Will be a pitch and change. Don't have a name. It's going to be number 15, a lefty. I have not seen.
Yeah, I'll get a name for you here.
Yep. Haven't seen that in a moment. We'll be back here in just a moment as they give him a few warm-up pitches. Stay tuned. And we are back. Mason Irwin still remains in the box for the Farmers with a 3-0 count. 2 outs, and Paxton Graves on third. We have a new pitch and change for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 15, Eli Manley.
Hard to come in, take over an at-bat as a pitcher.
Sure.
Right there as he issues ball 4.
And that will be accredited to Graham for the walk. Well, that runner will be accredited to Graham.
Yep.
But if you're just tuning, the Farmers have trailed the entire game until just a moment ago when bases were loaded. Graves came up and put a charge into the first pitch and hit a fly ball that should have been a can of corn there in left center, and they collided and all 3 runs scored. And a couple pass balls has put runners on the corners. Pax in a rundown here, and he's going to be safe at an overthrow.
Another error.
Irwin's going to move up to third.
So there was something, I suspect that was a bunt.
Yeah,
that he didn't get or he didn't go after. Pax gets caught in a rundown right there. Does a good job of evading the tag. Goes home aggressive. Force them to make a hard throw. They miss the play, and that's another error right there. It's going to score that run.
So 2 errors cost them 4 runs in a matter of 5 minutes. 3 batters.
Yep.
Irwin's going to move up on the advancement of the error. That fastball is about 10 inches off the plate for strike 1. Should be 1 ball, 1 strike. As Venegas is going to just dink that over to Newton at first base for out number 3. But not before your Farmers put a little bit together and get 4 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. And we are going to have a pitch and change ourselves.
Is he Mace going to? I don't think so.
No, I
think Irwin is going to go out there for the 4A batter.
Day's done that to me before. He'll stop behind. He was, jogging around looking backwards and stopped behind the mound to pick up the ball, and he was
just messing with you.
Yeah, he's just messing with me.
Now Mason, who was on base, Mason Irwin, back out on the mound. He's got about 10 pitches left.
I think Norton's going to squeeze everything he can out of his pitchers before making a change.
See if he can get another out right here. Still a lot of ball left to play tonight.
Yeah, we're just now through the more than half the game. Been playing for just under an hour and a half now. Had a sprinkle that lasted a few minutes, scared most of the fans.
Didn't scare them away.
No, they just kind of...
They tucked away, but it looks like they're all back out now. They don't want to leave this one.
I can't remember the last time we've played a playoff game at home. The 4 years that, I've had a son in varsity baseball. But it is kind of nice.
Well, the reason we're playing today and the reason that you haven't seen that as much in the past this time of year is because of the turf that they put down here out at
100%.
That's why you got playoff games going behind us on the softball field, able to keep these games with all the rain we've had the last 2 days, and field's still in great shape.
First pitch in there from Irwin for strike 1. Looking. Johnson, one of the center fielder that ran into the left fielder there on Graves' sky to left center, that was able to start the scoring charge for the Farmers there in the back of the bottom of the 4th. He swings and misses there. Falls behind quickly 1-2. So good quick work there by Irwin on 3 pitches to, I saw it.
1 and 2.
Johnson flares that one as he pokes it to the right side. I saw a thing that this pitching coach, he does a test, gives him 3 pitches. if you're at a 1-1 count, your next pitch can take that batter's average from a 350 to a 150. Soft ground ball hit to Graves at shortstop.
Oh, throw just a little bit up.
High throw there brings Day off the bag and not able to get the swinging tag. Going to bring up number 2, Styles. Not what you want to see in this type of game is, any error of any sort on our side. Double play opportunity here for the Farmers as that first pitch fastball from Irwin catches the outside corner for looking strike one. Styles grounded out his last time up. Irwin approaching last few final pitches by the UIL pitch count. He is able to finish the batter that he is once he approaches that 110 pitch count. That ball's in the bullpen on the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch from Irwin. Going to poke that by the first baseman. It's going to put runners on the corners. And that error could possibly come back to haunt the Farmers here.
Yeah, at 82 pitches, he's got one more within the count. So he can start this batter and finish.
He can finish this batter. We do have a
pinch hitter,
number 21. Don't have a name just yet. Going to be Moss for the Pirates.
Andrew Moss.
Now pinch hitting for the Pirates, number 21, Moss.
Runners on the corners, no outs. My rules, he has 1 pitch, but he can finish this batter. First pitch in there, looking fastball, strike 1. Venegas steps in front of the plate to call a play to his infield with runners on the corners. There's certainly a couple scenarios that you can run through if the first base runner steals. That breaking pitch didn't quite break. One ball, 1 strike on Moss. Throw over to Day at first. Not sure how aggressive that third base coach for Pittsburgh wants to be, but he just called a play. And that fastball breaks in there and catches the black. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Got him swinging. Job on the pinch hitter right there. That's going to end Mason's night right there.
Next up for the Pirates is going to be Newton, the first baseman. We are going to have a pitching change by pitch count. And you'll see some shifting around here. I could probably guess that it's going to be Mason Irwin to first as Mr. Gage Cox brings out his fielding glove. And we're going to move Mason Day, the first base lefty, to the pitcher's mound.
Everything else should stay the same.
Yeah. We're going to give them a minute to warm up, and we'll be back here in just a moment for the remaining top half of the 5th. Stay tuned. And we are back after just a couple more warm-up pitches by Mr. Mason Day as he takes over the mound for the Farmers. Here in the top of the fourth with one out.
Top of the fifth.
Excuse me, top of the fifth. We want to go back to
the
top.
We need to get as many as we can.
Yes,
right
we
here.
can.
We need to eat through these innings now. Yeah, Farmers taking good advantage of a couple of errors by the Pirates last inning, putting some runs up on the board. Pirates looking to threaten right here. Runners on the corners and one out. Farmers forced to make that pitch and change based on pitch count. Mason Day, who also pitched last night, inning and 2/3, comes back in to pitch tonight.
Skied over to the left side. Ellis is going to come in, and I think that ball's going to hit the net.
Yep, going to get the net.
That's going to be out of play.
Ellis and Venegas both hustling to get over there, but ball just out of reach from everyone.
0-1 to Newton. Struck out his last time up this evening. Runners on the corners. He is showing bunt as he pulls back.
Got him.
And got him. We'll give up the run to get that out.
Yes, I agree. Run for out right there at this point.
But that just goes back to show you
right there.
That goes back to show you that error by Graves on that first at bat came around to haunt them now. Cut that lead in half, 4-2. Bases empty. Foul tip straight to the backstop. Count remains 0-2 on Newton. Great throw by Venegas, though.
Oh, outstanding.
He put it right on it. You know, we talked about that in between innings. Looking strike three as Day throws it in there. He did that last night. So error there by the Farmers cost them a run, cut the lead in half. We'll be back here in just a moment, see if they can get that back here in the bottom half of the fifth. Stay tuned. And we are back here in the bottom half of the fifth of this nail-biting game. Your Farmers were trailing for majority of the game, 1-0. And through a couple errors in the bottom of the fourth, they were able to put a 4-spot. And now that lead is 4-2, bringing up Sebastian Redwine for the Farmers, leading off. 4-5-6 due up for the Farmers.
Love to see a couple insurance runs put up right here.
First pitch in there looking to Redwine. You know, different speed from Manley, the pitcher that came in to relieve Graham the last inning. Redwine behind on that pitch, fouls that right over to the top of the first base dugout as he falls behind quickly, 0-2. But, you know, we talked about it. It played in our favor, you know, last night with Graves pitching and then bringing in a Mason Day who throws about 15, 16 miles an hour lower than him and a different arm. So it completely throws
different
off
side.
what they've seen, yeah. Little sky to right field, drifting over for out number 1. It's going to bring up the catcher, Mr. Venegas.
Now batting catcher number 13, Carlo Venegas.
A couple groundouts tonight from Venegas. See if he can get something started here and poke something into play for the Farmers.
Yep. Carlo on base.
Puts a big charge into that. You know, that little bitty body hit it at about 300 feet out to center field. First pitch swinging there for out number 2. He is going to bring up the DH tonight, Mr. Fagan.
Now batting DH number 6.
Had success getting on base tonight. Single up the middle his first at bat and walked his last time.
Yeah. First pitch swinging there, catches it off the cap of the bat, pokes it over to the first base on deck circle. Looks weird seeing how that coach that came out, he looked like he plays for the Pirates. I mean, they got the same gear on as the MLB, the same logo and everything. Fagan behind 0-1. Here's a pitch from Manley. Ooh, that pitch just fell right in there.
Yeah, good pitch right there.
Like I'm telling you, man, the speed difference, you know, Graham had that real slow windup and a decent speed. I'm not sure what, as a pitcher, I'm throwing that.
Yes.
I mean, you always, even if it's time, you go ahead and throw it through and go through your motion. Fagan able to stay alive as he chops that one right back behind him. Count remains 0-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yes, he certainly works faster than Graham. Moves it along a little bit quicker.
Yeah, his windup is, you know, I'm not sure who's calling time. Is that Fagan? And he is up on that plate, but he's got the line. Looking strike 3. So 3 up, 3 down for your Farmers after 5 complete. They lead 4-2. We'll be back here in just a moment for the top half of the 6th. And we are back here in the top of the 6th of this playoff matchup between the visiting Pittsburgh Pirates and your Farmersville Farmers. If you're just tuning us, Farmers were able to take the win 4-3 last night in Pittsburgh. And they are winning tonight 4-2 after trailing most of the game.
Straight back at us.
First pitch swing and fouled that straight back to the net. If I had a glove, it would have been caught. Johnson had an RBI that started it off the – what were you going to say? Do you have a joke?
No, I'll stay away from that.
0-1 to Johnson.
Yeah, he had a bunt single and a strikeout tonight.
Outside fastball there from Day. Evans got 1 ball, 1 strike. A little low out of the glove of Venegas. 2 balls, 1 strike. A couple recent pitching changes for the Farmers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. I guess he didn't like that one. 3 balls, 1 strike to Johnson. Day peeking in and got his pitch. In the dirt for leadoff walk. Should bring up number 10, the second baseman, Miller, who's had 2 strikeouts tonight.
Looks like we're going to get a
going to be a pinch runner here. Can't see the number. Is it 5?
I did not get a number.
Can't see the number quite yet there on the pinch runner. I believe it is number 5.
That's going to be Will Strube.
If anybody's tuning in from Pittsburgh, we apologize on any.
Oh, we probably butchered a few.
Name butchering.
Not too bad.
No,
we've seen rosters that are a lot harder.
I've seen our head coach's roster. No outs, runner on first here in the top of the 6th. Bottom of the order, back to the top, due up for the Pirates. Pinch runner with a right down in front. Smart job by Ellis to let that roll foul as he was all over top of it. Johnson lives to fight another day with an 0-1 count. You know, not a bad idea by head coach there from Pittsburgh. I mean, this batter's had 2 strikeouts tonight. You know, they're running out of their options. I mean, they're top of the 6th here, so just trying to do anything to get that runner into scoring position. Back pick. Ooh, that was close. If Venegas puts that down
a foot or 2 more down, easier tag there for Irwin. Irwin almost gets it on him.
Man,
anyway.
Johnson's able to pull that back, even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And we will take that as he fouls that ball straight back to the backstop off the bunt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not sure if you'll still see the bunt scenario here.
You don't normally expect
You probably won't.
But we have seen it in the past 24 hours.
If you've got a player who can bunt and you got the infield playing on their heels, I mean, you could set yourself up for, and he's showing it here. And he pulled back. Oh, great job by Johnson as he slap hits it, showing bunt after 2 strikeouts tonight. Good AB by that young man. You don't see that very often, showing bunt, pull them back, and slap hitting.
That's a big slash right there.
It was.
It's a good play right there.
Back to the top of the lineup. For the Pirates, Hall, their catcher.
Also had success getting on base tonight. Hard single in the first, walked and hit by a pitch.
Chases that low pitch, fouls it over the top of the backstop, and I believe we're out of baseballs. We should be retrieving some from the Farmer dugout. I wish they were fair. Oh, 1 count to Hall as we get some clean baseballs here on the mound. Runners on first and second for the Pirates. Foul ball shot straight down in the batter's box. 0-2. May looking in, getting his sign. He steps off there for a moment. He looked a little bit longer than what I've seen him look normally. Got him something that he likes. Venegas setting up outside. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Elevated and outside for ball one. One ball, 2 strikes on Hall. Pitch in the dirt, gets away from Venegas. Runners move up to second and third. With no outs here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Pirates looking to take advantage of this right here. They've got a good opportunity to put some runs on the board, down by 2, and 2 runners in scoring position with no outs. Here with their top of the lineup at the plate.
Line down the left field side, one hops foul. Past the batting cages down there. Hall all over that ball. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he was sitting on that.
He sure was. Day set. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there on Hall.
Yeah, especially after that rip right there down the line.
Well, we've seen him last night, and he just made laser contact with that one, so that's definitely not somebody you want leaving a ball up in the zone. Going to bring up the first pitcher up tonight, number 8, Graham. He had a single to his left field his last time up. Uh-oh, that's going to be trouble, and that's going to be gone. As that 3-run blast puts them in the lead, 5-4. And Graham was all over that pitch.
Yeah, it was a no-doubter from contact.
As soon as he hit
there.
it.
Yeah.
Good hit by that young man. Well, the good thing about that is we still get 2 opportunities to bat. He definitely put a charge into that one.
There's just time right now to calm down. Nobody's on. Let's go back to work. Keep your composure. Still right in the middle of this thing. A lot of baseball play left to play.
Langford, who lined out to left field his last time up, takes first ball in there looking for ball one. As that skied to the third base side in foul territory. Ellis is camped underneath it, and he missed it. We've had too many errors tonight that are going to come back around and either have cost us or will cost us. One ball, 1 strike to Langford as he lives to find another day after that drop foul ball. Up out of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Hard hit foul.
Hard hit foul down the third base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Man, Graham went strikeout, pop out, single to left, threw an homer to left. So it just got better as he went through the game. You know, fighting through those errors that, you know, gave us the runs. We still get to play 7 innings. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Day set with his sign. 2-2 pitch on the way. Liner out to left field. McNeese is going to come in on that and makes that snag. Great job by McNeese to get that first out. He kind of caught that one down there by the knees on a full charge.
Yep.
I stand corrected. That is the second out of the inning. Number 9, Johnson. He's due up next in the box for the Pirates. Skies out to right field. That's going to be down in the gap for a single.
Styles with the ground rule double. Hard shot. His first at bat and singled last time. Also reached on an error. So he's been on base every at bat to this point. Big swing and a miss.
Well, hopefully we can change that here at this AB as he swing and misses at that first pitch for strike one. And that hits him, so he's going to get on base yet again.
Done it every way possible, I think.
We had the pinch hitter Moss last time up in this slot, and he struck out. So we'll see who he should
get a number here. I don't know if we've got the DH Bullard coming back in, or Moss, or a new pinch hitter. It's gonna be 21. Yeah, this is Moss.
This will be Moss. He was the pinch hitter who came in last time around. Struck out swinging his first time up. Runner on first and second. You know, and he's kind of called that all night. Maybe Carlo needs to just bring his glove up real quick.
About 10 inches?
Yeah. Same pitch, just a little outside, a little low. 2 balls, no strikes to Moss. With 3 pitches, yeah.
Misses inside right there. All of them near the plate, down in the zone.
You know, and after what he's, you know, a few hits, the 3-run bomb, he's going to be a little hesitant trying to throw stuff back in the zone. He's just got to trust his pitches, you know, and his defense.
3-0 green light right there. Big swinging. Going to get the call on the inside part of the plate right there, and we're going to go full.
Bring him back for full count. Runners will be advancing on the pitch to home here with a full count, 2 outs.
Third base coach making sure the runners are moving.
You know, and on that, you want to make sure that pitcher goes home, especially being a lefty. Chopper to the third base side. Ellis is going to throw it away. And that's a costly error there. Yet again by Ellis at third base. And that extends the lead 6-4 for the Pirates. You know, coming back around, you know, that first error that he had over here, that runner obviously was I think the first run that came around there to score. And then that one allowed another one to come around and score. So errors just, they're not your friend.
No, and it's gone both teams, right? The majority of the runs on the board tonight have all come off of errors or unearned runs. Those are tough to overcome. Newton coming up.
No, this is not Newton.
No, we got
this
a new
pinch hitter for Newton. Because remember, I think he came in as a pinch runner. Number 16.
Number 16, I've got him as Kyle Berry. I know a Kyle Berry, but this is not him. Kyle Berry.
Oh, 1 on the foul ball there by Berry. Hitting from the left side of the plate. Runners at second and third after the scoring error. As he kind of check swings that, catches it off the barrel, falls behind quickly. 0-2. Two outs here for the Farmers, looking to capitalize on this 0-2 count. On the pinch hitter. Fastball misses out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two from pitch. Yes, it is. It's going to be an outside fastball called, looking strike 3.
He didn't like it.
He did, and I think he told the umpire that he didn't, but
not going to change the fact.
So big 4-run inning by the Pirates. They now lead 6-4. We'll be back here in just a moment for the bottom half of the 6th. Stay tuned. And we are back here in the bottom half of the 6th. Leading off for the Farmers is going to be Garrett McNeese.
Got a pitching change, Kevin Johnson.
He's a shortstop, moved in from shortstop, excuse me. They've had a couple positions move around. We're not going to go through all of that. They've got 9 on the field. That's what they need, so that's what we're going to go with. Farmers had the lead there 4-1 going into that inning. No, 4-2.
4-2 going into that one. That's a down ball in the gap right there. McNeese is going to get at least 2.
There's that big barrel by McNeese we've been wanting to see for a stand-up leadoff double.
That's a big one right there.
Great job by McNeese as he put a charge into that. Mason Day back in the lineup.
Now batting number 1, Mason Day.
A 3-run home run and another error allowed the Pirates to score 4 there in the top of the 6th, as they now lead 6-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch in there today, looking for strike 1. Day's going to sky that to right field. as he's tripping and slipping, and he's able to make the catch.
Yeah, looked a little shaky right there.
Out number one.
He able to regain his footing and make that play in right field.
Reese Tuck, number 2, due up for the Farmers. First pitch in there low in the dirt, falls underneath the catcher. He had a struggle there trying to find it there for a moment. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out, runner on second here in the bottom of the 6th. Johnson with a little bit different delivery than 2 previous pitchers. A little bit better speed, obviously. He's moved in from shortstop as he throws that fastball just on the corner, evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss by Tuck. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good little crowds remained here through the little rain shower. Bleachers are full. Nets are full with lawn chairs and standing room only. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Tuck just ahead of that pitch. Count remains 1-2.
He took a little off speed right there. Tuck is getting through early. Good hit, just pulls it foul.
Graves on deck for the Farmers. Irwin in the hole. The fans didn't like that pitch, but he's 5'1", so he's got the strike zone of a cereal box. Now, if that was Graves in the box, that'd be looking strike 3. But not on old Tuck.
He battles. One off the hands right there.
He fouls that one straight back to the net. Count's going to remain 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch from Johnson. And yet again, Tuck's going to fight that off. Runner at second, 2-2 count, 1 out. Here for the Farmers in the bottom of the 6th. Great off-speed by Johnson.
It was about that same, looked like about the same elevation on that ball he called a little earlier, but it's right there across the letters.
Back to the top of the lineup.
For your Farmers, number 7, Paxton Graves.
Number 7, Paxton Graves. Big swing and a miss as Johnson throws a fastball. Falls behind quickly, 0-1. Two outs here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Graves.
Looking to take advantage of that leadoff double by Garrett McNeese.
Graves is going to flare that one. That should be down.
That's down.
And Garrett McNeese is going to come in. He was going on the bat, and he's going to get in there and get scored. So a good little piece of hitting there by Graves as he takes that outside pitch and flares it to the right side. And we cut that lead 6-5.
Yeah, we talked about, some pretty big hits he's had, putting a big charge in the ball. That was probably the softest hit he's had in a while.
Yeah.
But does just the same job right there, scoring McNeese from second base and bringing that lead for the Pirates down to 1.
Yeah, Graves with good speed there at first. Johnson's going to do a quick throw over there before Irwin even steps in the box barely. Not sure what he was trying to bring in there, but that ball was well outside for ball 1. Ja here, Venegas on deck for your Farmers. 1-0 count to Irwin. Johnson with another couple peeks over to Graves at first. Swing and a foul straight back to the backstop. Evens count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Love to see Irwin line here down that right field line. Graves with the potential to score from first there. Kind of change the dynamic of this game. 1-1 pitch on the way. Misses just out of the top of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Irwin skies that one back to the softball field. Evens account, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Luckily, they're done over there now.
Yeah. Yeah, a little playoff game was underway over there this evening. Opportunity that we've never really had before we had turf. And we wouldn't be playing today here if we didn't have turf.
Definitely not.
It rained from 9 o'clock this morning until 3 o'clock this afternoon. 2-2 pitch on the way from Johnson. Graves goes, and that's going to be a foul ball. If he would have came up and caught that a little bit quicker, he could have got Irwin out at first and ended the inning. But
lets that just go foul.
Yeah.
Mason rolled over the top of that one a little bit.
He sure did.
Hit a little chopper. Just foul.
Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Graves was going on the pitch. And I bet to see that again here. Johnson is curious about Graves there. Fastball in and low there, brings the count full on Irwin.
You definitely see Graves on the move.
Yeah.
3-2 with 2 outs.
Definitely with a full count, 2 outs. You know, Johnson almost should know this happening. Mason fights that off. Rolls it foul to the left side.
Can let Pax get his sprints in over there.
Yeah.
He's young. He can handle it.
Mm-hmm. Payoff pitch on the way. Up and out. Ball 4. Going to put Irwin at second base, bringing up Jahir Venegas. That's back-to-back walks for Irwin. Excuse me. Jahir's due up next for the Farmers.
After ground out and a walk tonight, had a little flare out to first base his last at bat.
Now batting number 15, Jahir Venegas.
He's due and can certainly put a charge in a ball right here. So
absolutely.
Another one that could clear bases if he could find a gap right here.
You've got great speed on the bases.
Crowd on the right-hand side of us don't like that call. I think it's a little bit up.
1-0 pitch from Johnson on the way. And I think if he stays in the box and takes that, obviously, as a hitter, you don't want to do that. But in this scenario, you know, bases loaded and the pass ball, we're a tie ball game. Sebastian Redwine on deck for the Farmers.
Big cut right there by Jahir.
A big cut as he takes that fastball straight back to the backstop. Brings the count 2 balls, 1 strike. Runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Little slow roller. Graves is going to bounce over that. That's going to be bobbled by Graham.
He's going to run it out.
We're going to be safe
right there
all around. Great job by Graves as he waited just long enough to jump over that ball, and that little flash jumping over right there.
That's tough. It makes it a tough play.
Well, that's a tough play for a third baseman going against his body that way anyways. I mean, there's not many Mark McLemores out there.
Sebastian Redwine.
Sebastian Redwine in the box for the Farmers.
Big spot right here for the freshman.
Definitely due up here with an opportunity. Great speed at second base by Irwin. Jaw here with respectable speed right behind him. Johnson with a couple quick step-offs there. Two outs, bases loaded.
Oh.
That just goes back. Now I want you to wear it.
Yeah.
Because that's a hit-by-pitch RBI.
Sure. And it's easy to say when you're watching.
Sure, yeah, Monday morning quarterbacking. Oh, that was absolutely horrible. That, you hear, I don't know if you can't hear to the mic, but Coach Norton's screaming from third base to do better, and that's his job. Foul ball there in the box as he kind of double taps that with his bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, that catcher picked that ball up off the ground, and I don't know what he was seeing that made that seem like a good pitch to call, but nonetheless, Redwine behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It was Redwine that was called out on that same pitch earlier in the game that brought Norton to have a discussion with the umpire in the first place. Good job fighting that off.
Absolutely, a great job fighting that off. Being a freshman in this situation, you know, there's a lot of pressure on those shoulders. You know, good ball player, good all-around athlete. You know, has an opportunity to help his teammates out here. Count remains 1-2. 2 outs. Ooh!
There's the hit by pitch.
And that's what we wanted. We don't care how we get them, ladies and gentlemen. This game is tied 6-6. And that's going to bring up the big bat, Jair Venegas.
That would be Carlo. That's little brother Carlo.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why. I don't know.
Big brother's out there on second.
My fault, Carlo. No, yeah, Jair's at second. My fault.
Yeah.
My fault. My fault.
But a capable bat nonetheless.
Yeah,
he had a pretty good
he put a charge into that one, but, man, I just need him. You know, he did really good in that walk-off against Sunnyvale to put Graves at second base. He just poked it right through that right side. And that's the same pitch just a moment ago that he picked up on Redwine. I mean, literally scuffing the turf, and you call that a pitch. And that's like what Norton said, you've got to do better. In this situation, you know, this is the end of the season, not the beginning.
Ball's going to get away, not going to get far enough away.
2 balls, no strikes on Venegas. How about I just say Venegas?
Just say Venegas.
Yeah, there we go. I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
That hits half our team anyway, right?
You know, they had some good combos last night, man, with those laser throws, and a great job by Carlo there at home plate making sure he got the ball to get the tag. Just a great job. And he's going to catch that in the back to take the lead here. That's going to bring in Irwin, and we are going to take the lead 7-6.
That's
tough. We're going to have an argument here.
Pirates coach there, not real happy. I think he thought he turned into it a little bit. I don't know that he turned into it. He turned his body, but he
backwards.
He certainly didn't lean out over the plate by any stretch. So catcher's going to get a courtesy runner.
And if you're in the box and you turn and you happen to, I mean, you're turning away from the pitch. Nate Clark, courtesy runner for the catcher with 2 outs. He's going to come in.
That puts some more good speed on the bags right there.
Jace Fagan, this young man's due tonight. He struggled last night and tonight, and this is a perfect opportunity for him to bust it wide open for the Farmers here. Base is still loaded, 2 outs. He's going to hit that right back to the pitcher.
Able to knock it down and get the out. Not before Farmers do the damage right there.
Man, we did. We were able to put up a 3-spot. You know, we can't score 1 run in an inning or 2 runs. We're going to go 4, we're going to go 3. Well, after 6 complete, folks, stay tuned. This game's not over yet. We're going into the top of the 7th as your Farmers retake the lead 7-6. We'll be back here in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning, you have missed a back-and-forth nail-biter. Your Farmers just retook the lead in the bottom of the 6th, and they lead 7-6.
We can't call it a pretty one.
No, it's not pretty,
it's been a competitive one nonetheless.
But, all we're looking for is that W. These boys secured one last night. They've really worked hard this season. We've fought through some errors. We've fought through some, botched games, games that we've gave up, but we gave up the game. We were winning, and just swinging a miss there by Johnson, the pitcher that came in from shortstop for the Pirates. Evens account, 1 ball, 1 strike. 8-9-1 due up here for the Pirates. Big swing and a miss on that slow breaking pitch there from Day.
Starting to put the pressure on these guys right here.
Hard line drive to the left side over the third baseman for a leadoff single. Going to bring up Miller. Second baseman for the Pirates.
A couple of strikeouts, but singled his last time up.
Bunt right in front of home plate.
Well, he's able to run it out right between. It was a good laid down bunt.
And there was a little bit of frustration there by Carlo because that's his ball, in a sense, in my opinion. He's moving away from the plate. He's going to pick that up and be turned in. Mason, being a left-handed pitcher, has got to stop, turn all the way around. And what you don't want to do is him to throw that to right field. Back to the top of the lineup after the error is Hall. He's struck out his last time up. That pitch in the dirt underneath Venegas there for ball 1. Well inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Mason Day threw 20-plus pitches last night in Pittsburgh as he came in to close the game. Took something off that. Hall with a big swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runners on first and second, no outs here in the top of the 7th. Dead ball is going to load the bases after that hit by pitch. That's his second hit by pitch this evening. You can see his frustration, but he's on the base.
And now you got Big Boy. He went to the donut shop last time
he
at
did.
the plate and
3-run
gave them
blast.
the lead.
Sure
with
was.
A 3 RBI shot. Now he's batting here, trying to keep their season alive with bases loaded.
Outside pitch there for ball one. Graham standing close to that right side of the plate. Ball speed in there, evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on Graham.
Timeout called here. Going to get a courtesy runner.
Hall was wanting to stay on the base there. He was trying to wave off his coach. Looking like we might possibly have another pitcher warm up there for the Pirates. Bases loaded, no outs. 1 ball, 1 strike on Graham. Venegas going to set up a little outside. Big swing as he skies that one back to the dugout, straight behind us. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mason nods and gets his pitch. 1-2 pitch on the way. Big strikeout for Mason Day and the Farmers.
Big spot for a strikeout right there for Mason Day.
I mean, what did Graham have to lose?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Went after it. Now we're going to have a little talk right here. Strategically, what do you want to try to do? Certainly have the double play possibility right here.
An game-ending double play. You're right.
You have Langford coming up, who's hit the ball 4 times to Garrett McNeese out in left.
Yeah.
Creates a sac fly opportunity and tie this game up for the Pirates. Boy, what a time for a little ground ball up the middle, huh?
Yeah, I'd love to see a little ground ball, middle infield, double play. You know the 2 that are set up there can do it. We've seen them do it a handful of times this year, given the scenario.
Farmers looking to get 2 outs right here with a 1-run lead, but bases loaded and Pirates threatening with only 1 out. Big opportunity to close this game out. Corners in. Cut down the run at the plate. Double play depth in the middle.
Big swing by Langford there for strike 1. You definitely want to see the same scenario that happened to us last inning. You know, that pitch almost snaked in there pretty close to Langford. That inside pitch evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's showing bunt. And he's going to bring it back and try to slap hit. And he falls behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't think a single person is left this evening. They're hanging around for this game.
If you waited this long, you're not leaving now.
Yeah.
He goes way outside.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That was definitely a perfect opportunity for the old Bob Euchre.
Yeah.
Just a bit outside. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Day. You know, and that's a 50-50 whether he was going to call that or not.
A little bit outside.
He does. It has, yes.
I agree with the call, but he has called that a time or two.
Full count. Foul that one straight back to the backstop.
Yeah, Day puts a good pitch in there. Langford does a good job of fighting that off and staying alive here with full count.
Three-two pitch on the way from Irwin as he takes, or excuse me, Day as he steps to throw to Irwin. Full count pitch on the way. Line drive. And we are tied.
Said he's been to left every time.
He has.
That's the first time he got one down for an RBI single.
As McNeese just couldn't get in. I mean, it wasn't hit hard. Almost kind of like he fisted the ball. Still have the double play opportunity here.
Johnson singled twice tonight, reached on an error.
Ooh, he did call it.
You do have the double play opportunity, but Coach got the middle rolled in as well, looking to come home and
because he definitely don't
go ahead run from scoring.
Don't want to give the lead. That's ball from Day misses up and away, evens the count, 1-1 strike on Johnson. Johnson, pretty big kid there in the box. Center fielder for the Pirates. He wanted to call it. He did the same thing. Carlo's going to have to be
a little less animated.
Yeah, a little less animated. You definitely don't want to be on the wrong side of the judgment of the umpire. Nonetheless, 2-1 strike as Day comes set. Swing and a miss, evens the count, 2 strikes.
Got him.
Reach for that one.
Big opportunity right here to get out of this one with minimal damage and give yourself a chance to get one and take this thing in the bottom. Need this third out.
Next up, number 2, the left fielder Stiles. Hit my pitch his last time up. That's what I've got, unless I'm off one.
Nope, you're right.
Okay.
Also singled and had the ground rule double.
Oh, yeah. That
reached on an error. His second at bat.
Good try by Venegas as he tries to bring that ball back into the zone. Bases remain loaded, 2 outs after the strikeout from Day. Inside pitch there. Ball's behind on the count. 2 balls, no strikes.
It's another one of those about 2 inches away from being a RBI hit by pitch. We saw a couple of
or 2 inches more out catching the plate from being a strike.
Yeah, he's up on the plate pretty tight.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Here in the top of the 7th, this game is tied 7-7. That ball's up and elevated. 3 balls, no strikes.
Got to bring it to him.
And I definitely see a red light here from the coach with this scenario.
Going to hit the outside corner right there. Tries to come all the way back from down 3-0.
3-1 set. Here's a pitch from Day.
That's going to miss outside.
That's going to walk in a run, and they're going to take the lead. Got to bring up Moss. He got on by E5 last time up.
Big swing and a miss.
Oh, 1 quickly to Moss. Yes, he did. Home plate's going to call that check swing with a strike. No balls, 2 strikes on Moss. Dade nods on the pitch. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss.
Not before they take the lead right there. It's going to be a big bottom of the 7th. Farmers have an opportunity right here to
walk it off
this
to
thing
win.
Up or walk it off.
And we've got
but definitely have to have one or we're playing ball tomorrow.
We've got some big drops coming in. We're going to have the fans scattering. Actually, that's a big raindrop and a big rain shower. So we'll be back here in just a moment after we see what this shower is going to do. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the bottom of the 7th. We had a little rain delay there for just a few extra moments. But we are resuming play here. And due up for the Farmers is Garrett McNeese. 7-8-9. Due up. Your Farmers trail 8-7 here in the bottom of the 7th. They have a walk-off opportunity.
McNeese with a big lead-off double to start that last inning.
Yeah.
Could use that one again.
First pitch in there, just high, ball 1. That pitch low.
He looked ready to cut loose right there, but you're going to be called strike 1.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a delivery from Hall. Big swing by McNeese. Falls behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mason Day on deck and Reese Tuck in the hole for the Farmers. Hall shakes off a pitch. He's set and delivers. And that's in the dirt. Evens the count 2-2. Still a slight mist out there coming down. Hall's going to swap out a couple baseballs here. You know, it doesn't take much to make the top of this turf slick. And, you know, that ball in the dirt there, or in the turf, excuse me. Put a little damp on that ball.
Rotating in balls, getting them dry.
Count remains 2-2.
Foul tipped and caught for strike 3.
Barely caught.
Job by Johnson holding on to that foul tip from McNeese.
Mason Day in the box there for the Farmers. Swing and a miss as Hall blows the fastball right by him, falls behind quickly. 0-1. Pittsburgh wanted it. That one was just a little bit out of the top of the zone, according to the umpire. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Good try by Johnson there, catching that, trying to bring it back in the zone. A little bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Day. Little ground ball through the left side, past the outstretched glove of the shortstop.
Good piece of hitting right there.
Great job by Mason Day.
Keep hope alive right here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Need 1 run to stay and keep this thing going. 2 to walk it off.
Reese Tuck with a hit by pitch RBI when we had that 3-spot last inning. You know, the scoring tonight has just shown it's just not enough either way to be comfortable yet. So it's going to go all the way down to the wire. Tuck's going to sky that one to center field. We're back to the top of the lineup for the Farmers.
Back to the top of the lineup. Number 7, Paxton Graves.
Paxton Graves stepping in the box. Had an RBI single to right field as he poked that one through his last time up.
A little conversation.
I think Coach Nord's going to put in a pinch runner.
We're going to have
for Mason Day. We're going to have Nate Clark, number 17, coming back in.
Coming in as courtesy runner, number 17, Nate Clark.
do or die time right here for the Farmers in this game 2. Pirates trying to push it to a 3rd game tomorrow out at Edgewood.
Farmers are trying to close it out this evening, so I'm trying to keep my nerves at bay. And that's definitely not how we want to end the game there. So
Nate diving back in safe.
Yeah. Nate Clark with good speed over there at first. Hall took something a little off of that pitch. It ended up outside and called a looking strike one by the umpire. In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Evens the count. Hall should be as comfortable as he can feel with the lead here. 2 outs and a runner on first. Boy, he grabbed that pitch and brought that thing down into the zone. Farmers down to their last strike here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that ball's well outside. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
In the dirt, catcher does a good enough job to keep that in front.
Spikes that one in the dirt, yeah. Full count.
Going to have Clark on the move right here. Get a good start. Good time for a ball in the gap. Mr. Graves.
Graves has worked back from an 0-2 count to bring it full here in the bottom of the 7th. Clark, the tying run there at first. Mason Irwin on deck for the Farmers. Followed by Jahir Venegas in the hole.
I'd like to see all of those guys get a crack at it right here. Ball is straight up.
He skies that one, and he
has trouble finding it.
Neither one of them could see it.
Tough play, I could tell. He couldn't track it off the bat. The pitcher was coming in.
Well, there's still some mist coming down out there. The almost pitcher had a better opportunity coming in.
Yeah. I thought he was going to come and get it.
Count remains 3-2.
He's going to take ball 4.
Up and out. It's going to bring up Mason Irwin. Great speed by both of these runners. Pax Graves will be the game-winning run for the Farmers. Coach Norton with a quick timeout here. 2 outs with runners on first and second. I'm going to take me a little Dr. Pepper break.
Yeah, he's going to give a little instruction to Nate Clark out there. He's got to be moving on the crack of the bat right here with 2 outs.
One to stay, 2 to win, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming down to the wire. This is the Farmers down to their last out with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. They trail 8-7 against the Pirates. Runners on first and second. Fastball inside there to Irwin for ball 1. We are approaching the 10 o'clock hour, 3-hour mark for this game. That ball's low as Mason Irwin, I think, corrected the catcher. He kind of shook his head and said that was low. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, runners on first and second. nail-biter of a game here. That ball's in the dirt.
Catcher doing a pretty good job right there.
And I'm okay with Nate Clark not going there.
You don't get the third out.
You don't want to get the third out on the bases. That is correct.
Here we go, Mr. Irwin. Be smart. Sees the pitch.
Yeah, 3-0 green,
Yes.
or excuse me, red light there. That
Absolutely.
pitch just catches the inside corner. Still has to come back and throw him a hittable pitch here. And that one's in the dirt. As that loads the bases for Jahir Venegas.
That gives your tie and run. Nate Clark over there on third base, and Pax Graves, your game winner out there at second. Venegas can get him around right here with 2 outs.
I do remember this scenario before in the bottom of the 7th with Graves at second. A couple weeks ago, I was watching from the.
Yes, that was the Garrett McNeese line drive to left that knocked him in from second, I believe.
Correct. He hit the line drive, and Pax was going at the crack of the bat and slid in head first and was safe by a mile. And we've got similar situation here. Bases are loaded, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Hall's going to request another ball. Things getting a little testy here in these last final moments. These balls have been dried off and reused, dried off and reused. They're going to create kind of a slick effect or a slimy effect on that leather. But nonetheless, we've got it. Hall's got a ball there at the pitcher's mound. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Jahir Venegas in the box. Fastball. And Hall did not like that as he showed his displeasure.
Yeah, he did. You don't want to see that animation.
And I think shortstop is jawing at Graves out there at second.
Big swing by Jahir. Going to foul it back to the parking lot.
Anywhere hit to the outfield, I can see Norden, especially with a pitcher situation. I think he's going to send Graves from second. 1 ball, 1 strike on Venegas. That check swing held up by Venegas.
I think it's a good call. Everybody's been here a long time.
Yeah, that's a long drive.
Everybody's made long drives the last 2 days. We want to see this thing.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Right here.
3-1 to Venegas as Coach Norden almost jumps into the ear hole of Nate Clark.
Shared his helmet with him for a minute.
Yeah, he got in that ear hole real quick. But he's an athlete. He can take it. Bases loaded, 3 balls, 1 strike. Hitters count here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Your Farmers trail 8-7 with Jahir Venegas.
Going to take ball 4, and they got a tie ball game.
Tie ball game. And that brings up the freshman.
Red Wine with an opportunity right here.
Now batting number 4, Sebastian Redwine.
Mr. McCabe over there with the enthusiastic announcer.
Yeah, he is. Sebastian was on deck. I think he realized he's not coming to the plate.
Bases remain loaded with that walk RBI.
Oh, that was almost ball game right there. And I think he knows it. But that's just human reaction right there to get.
It is.
It is out of the way, especially when the ball's coming at your head.
That coach is gonna throw that baseball over to Norton. I'd throw it back to the coach. Yeah, I think they're playing tic-tac-toe.
Done that a little bit.
Yeah, you've seen the rain delays before. We've just got balls flying all over the place. One ball, no strikes as we finally get the baseball situation squared away. Graves the winning run on third base. And that's going to be the ball game. Yeah!
Walk-off hit by pitch.
What did we say at last inning?
Here goes the light. And the Farmers advance to the next round in the series right there against Pittsburgh.
And we are going to be playing Purple Rain. Sorry you guys get to miss it if you're not here for the line stream. But, hey, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm about to go celebrate with the team. This has been a tough, hard-fought year. That wasn't the prettiest game.
That was the ugliest game.
Absolutely, I agree. It could have gone either way. We tried to give it away 6 times. They gave it away 6 times. But, hey, at the end of the night, the Farmers win. We're going to go celebrate. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will be posting information on the next round as we get that information. As always, go Farmers.